You don't want to let me go for 50, do you?
This is a Carson City. It should be like $500. Did you price that?
Probably.
Can you see the CC on the back of that?
Not really.
1933 original pinball machine.
514 of those made. If you don't turn that car into a lowrider.
Rick Harrison's life has been shattered. Adam has passed away and Chumlee is facing life in prison. The gold and silver pawn shop used to sparkle, but now it feels cold and empty. Rick can't smile, he can't joke, and he barely cares about deals anymore. Every day is a battle, with his family turning against him and money dwindling fast. Let's expose it now because Rick is about to face an incredible betrayal involving his own mother. The day the gold lost its shine, it started small, a few cracks here, a little drama there, but then one day everything collapsed. His son Adam was gone. Not sick, not slowly fading, just gone. And right when Rick was still trying to breathe through that, the other shoe dropped hard. Chumlee, the goofball everyone loved, got slammed with a sentence so heavy it sucked all the air out of the room. But the worst part was still waiting in the dark, ready to burn everything that was left. You'd think a guy like Rick could take a hit. He'd seen shady deals, fake antiques, angry sellers, but this was something else. This was the kind of thing that doesn't just break your heart, it burns it down. And the shop? The shop turned cold. Not just quiet, cold.
I have a couple of interesting notes I think you may be interested in. I have a $50 legal tender note from 1880, and I have an 1890 legal tender treasury note, which is also known as an ornate or a fancy bag.
The gold and silver pawn shop wasn't just a place to haggle, it was home. A noisy, messy, sometimes ridiculous home. Now it felt like an empty museum with dust on everything that used to matter. Rick still showed up, still stood behind the counter, still nodded along while people held up trinkets like gold bars. But his eyes? They were somewhere else. Adam had been the quiet one, not on the show much, but he mattered. He mattered in the way a solid beam matters in a roof. You don't see it, but if it breaks, the whole house leans. Rick leaned hard, then fell. And Chumlee? That was another kind of hit. Sure, he acted silly on screen, always goofing, cracking dumb jokes, messing things up, but he was more than that. He kept the place light, made it human. And now, life in prison. No jokes, no second takes. The headlines did not care. The fans did not get it. But Rick, he got it. He got hit by it, right in the gut. Everything changed after that. The sellers still showed up. Old coins, busted swords, watches with missing hands, but now every deal felt like a chore. The spark? Gone. The thrill? Dead. Rick would look at an item, nod, throw out a number, sometimes way off, sometimes not even trying. Just get it over with. One man brought in what he swore was a priceless war medal. Rick barely blinked, told him it was fake and moved on. Another came in with an old sword. Same thing, low offer. No back and forth, just cold business.
So this thing is just in amazing condition. Some people would call this patina, I call this rust.
Just clean up a little bit. You can cut your vegetables, watermelon, potatoes.
But just when Rick thought things couldn't get worse, the floor gave out beneath him, dragging everything he built into chaos. How a family name became a headline. Pawn Stars used to be about stories. Every item came with a tale. Rick ate that stuff up. Now, the stories just sounded like noise. Even the big items did not matter. A rare watch came in, a real one this time. Rick offered half what it was worth. The man walked. Rick did not flinch. The lawsuits did not help either. First came the mess with his mother. She said Rick tricked her into signing away her part of the shop while she was barely awake from a coma, dragged him to court, demanded $500,000. And that hurt. Not the money, the betrayal, family turning on family, over ink and paper. Then came Corey, Rick's other son, the one still on the show. He went off the rails too, rented a van, trashed it, did not pay. More headlines, more embarrassment. The family name that once stood for something solid was now a punchline. Even the shop itself turned against him. He tried to grow it, open a fancy plaza, thought it would bring in more business. Instead, empty storefronts, lawsuits, more losses. The place that once made millions was barely making anything. Some months, not even 40,000. That kind of drop does not just sting, it bruises deep. Rick kept trying to act like it was fine, said the right things on camera, greeted fans, took pictures, but when the cameras cut, the smile did too. He'd stare at the floor, sometimes at the wall, anywhere but at the spot where Adam used to stand, or where Chumlee used to crack jokes. Nights were the worst. Quiet house. Adam's stuff still in place, his clothes still hanging, his chair still in the corner. Rick could not touch any of it, could not pack it, could not throw it out, could not even sit in the chair. Like doing any of that would make it real. Too real. And the shop? That was not much better. Even the regulars noticed. They'd bring in stuff, tell wild stories, wait for Rick to play along. But he just stood there, flat, like someone had unplugged him. No jokes, no haggling, just numbers, half-hearted handshakes. The tourists kept coming, wanted pictures, wanted lines from the show, wanted to see the magic. But there was none. Just a tired man behind a counter trying to make it through one more day. And the fake items, they never stopped. People saw something on television, thought their junk was worth gold. Rick had to break the news over and over. No, that is not a Civil War relic. No, that is not a real watch. No, that baseball is not signed by anyone famous. And when he told them the truth, they got mad, called him a liar, walked out. The whole business had changed.
I mean, he's the main guy for those Dodger teams. He kind of rolled off his letters, as you could see here. He had a great way of finishing it off with his X that kind of dropped down.
It was not about deals anymore. It was about damage control, keeping things from falling apart even more than they already had. And no matter how hard Rick tried, it never got better. The worst part, the pain did not come from strangers. It came from inside, from people he loved, from people he trusted, from the ones he thought would always be there. Rick knew value. He could look at a coin and tell you the year, the mint, the history. But when it came to this loss, he had no idea how to price it, no idea how to carry it. The shop used to give him purpose. Now it just gave him something to do, something to get him out of bed, something to distract him from the silence at home, the memories, the pain. Yet amidst all this loss and turmoil, someone else was quietly stepping up, ready to carry forward everything the old man had built. Lessons from the man who never called out. Corey didn't just walk into the pawn shop one day and end up with a handful of cash and cool stuff. He picked up a lot from the old man, some of it handed down, some of it just rubbed off over the years. Let's talk houses first. When the show hit big, the old man made serious money. Not small checks. He got himself a fancy house. And when he passed, that place didn't just vanish, it went down the family line. Corey got a piece, but not everybody did. One son, Christopher, got cut out. Nobody knows why. The will from 2017 said he was loved, but love didn't come with keys. The house? No pictures, but folks can guess, not a tiny place. With all that show money, this was a house with big rooms and shiny floors. Paid off, no rent, no mortgage, just family space. Cars came next. The old man didn't drive to get groceries, he drove for fun. He had a 1963 Chrysler Imperial, a 1966 Imperial convertible, a 1962 Cadillac sedan DeVille, a 1957 Chevrolet, a 1955 Ford pickup, and even a 1937 Oldsmobile. That garage looked like a car show. Some never made it to television, just chrome and horsepower sitting quiet. He kept one Cadillac for 18 years. Those long cars turned like cruise ships. Big, wide, heavy, and that fit the old man. He spent 20 years in the Navy used to ships and steel. Some of those rides got passed down. Nobody said which ones, but Corey likely got one. He earned it. He was right there, in the thick of it. Now the shop, the one with the lines out front and the cameras inside, that place started back in 1988. The old man and Rick opened it. No television, just a tiny store. Then it grew. And when the old man stepped back, Corey took over. He became full-time boss. Not just a title. He showed up every day. There was also the skill. The one where the old man could look at a coin or watch and know it was fake. That skill meant real money. Corey learned that. Watched it happen. Picked it up. He didn't guess. He spotted the fakes. That made him valuable. Money? The old man had plenty. At the end, the number was close to $8 million. Some of that went to Corey. Nobody knows how much, but enough to make life different. And there was the attitude, the boss energy. The old man had it. Walked into a room and people stopped talking. Corey learned that too, not by asking, just by being around it. Now he runs the place, fires folks if he needs to, and doesn't wait on anyone.
Gibson's just one of those great American companies, though. I think they started in, the early 1900s. They're still alive and kicking today.
Work mattered. Real work. The old man didn't call out sick. From 1994 on, he didn't miss a day. That's more than 2 decades without a break. When the real estate crash hit, lost $1 million. Packed up, moved to Las Vegas in 1981, started fresh with $5,000, opened a shop that was only 300 square feet. By 1987, they got the license they needed. The place grew, all from effort. Before the shop came the Navy. 2 decades. He didn't sign up for the adventure. A judge gave him a choice, jail or Navy. He chose the sea, served on destroyers, traveled, worked in squadrons, learned structure, learned how to keep calm when things got tough. Corey got a taste of that training. Then came the quiet stuff. The way the old man looked at people, the way he read a deal, the way he knew what something was worth. That wasn't in any book. Corey saw that every single day. The house, the rides, the shop, the money, the skills, the work, the energy, they all came from time spent with the old man. Corey didn't just inherit things, he inherited the rhythm of a life spent moving forward, one deal at a time. But here's the real question. Was it mentorship or manipulation? Like, comment, and subscribe, then tell us what you think in the comments below.